Hello Oracles! Well, we had another nice outperformance by Tesla today, up 0.38%. When the market was down, the S&P was down just over 1%, the Nasdaq was down almost 1.5%, and Tesla outperforming yet again. So what was the reason behind this? Well, we had Brad Gerstner coming out from Altimeter with a buy rating initiation on Tesla, stating that, back in 2019, he actually wasn't a fan of the stock at all. Elon himself had talked about the fact that the company could potentially go bankrupt at any moment back then. He wasn't a fan, but a lot has changed over the last 2 years. The landscape of the entire automotive market has changed. The landscape of the world has changed over the last 2 years. We have transitioned from ICE vehicles to an EV revolution. We are still at the beginnings of this right now. We only have 8% EV adoption, and we are seeing that Tesla has a 15% share of that market. He feels that Tesla is going to maintain a 15% share of that market, but that market is a massively expanding market as we are looking at it. So Tesla maintaining that share hold of that market with a growing market means that they are going to be very Apple-esque in their growth. They're going to have a massive portion of the profits when it comes to that entire market. And he attributes a lot of this to, the governments from around the world are all supporting the transition over to renewable energies and EVs. So Tesla, being the leader as they are going to continue and extend that lead over the next few years. And the Inflation Reduction Act, which he dubs as horribly named, is going to help transition this even faster and is going to help Tesla take the lead even further. And he says when it comes to the legacy automotive makers, they are burdened with legacy type stuff that is burdening them and has been for years. So they have to make this transition. So they are going to be cannibalizing themselves along the way, whereas Tesla does not have to do that. They can just continue to drive themselves forward and extend their lead. And he said on top of the EVs, when it comes to the Inflation Reduction Act and all of the government support, they can also take off with their battery storage market as well. And we have already been talking about that when it comes to energy. Tesla energy is going to be massive in the future. We are just starting to see that go now. They were talking about the other day with Martin Viecha talking about how they finally, in the first time in his career with Tesla, has seen Tesla actually have enough battery cells to support both sides of that business. So again, we've been talking about the rumors and discussions about the battery machinery coming from Berlin over to the US. Nothing confirmed on that yet, but the batteries are going to be a huge piece of this, and we are waiting to see what's going to happen in the future. We should be finding out about this on the Q3 earnings call about all of the discussions with the batteries. But just hearing that they have enough battery cells to drive both sides of their business means that energy is really going to start taking off soon. And so I have no doubt that this initiation with a buy rating was a reason why we had pushed forward today and outperformed the market. Tesla right now, we talked about it a couple of days ago, where, the last 2 weeks of the quarter are usually when a lot of analysts come in and they're going to be increasing or adjusting their estimates. Gary Black talks about this all the time. Most analysts wait till the last 2 weeks. They've got their finalized numbers. They're not guessing all month long, so they kind of take in a lot of data, they come out with their numbers, and they start increasing their estimates. So we're going to see probably more adjustments like this going into the next 2 weeks. So some other things to pay attention to as we come to the end of the quarter when it comes to the entire macro environment as well is going to be the fact that we get a lot of funds and institutions rebalancing their portfolios at the end of a quarter. So we could see some volatility due to this. And then don't forget, next week on the 21st, we have the FOMC meeting where we are looking at almost a 100% chance of getting a 75 basis point hike. And I wouldn't write off a 100 basis point hike. Scary as it to say, Elon himself says that we should be doing a negative 25 basis point hike. The Fed's going to be going in the opposite direction, and probably a lot stronger in the opposite direction than Elon and Cathie Woods think that we need to go. And then one other piece of economic data that we are going to get before the end of the month and the end of the quarter is going to come on September 30th when we get our PCE report. And the Fed has already said themselves that they do focus on the PCE report, sometimes more so than the CPI and the PPI, as far as data that they are collecting to make their decisions. So Rob Maurer himself had mentioned the fact that, it's kind of upsetting that it's coming after they are going to do the FOMC meeting, because the next FOMC meeting is going to be coming on November 1st and 2nd. So we'll get the PCE data now, we'll get another round of PCE, CPI, and PPI data going through October before we are going to be getting to the next FOMC meeting in November. So a lot of data can happen in the first month within October. Who knows what's going to happen there? But to close out the quarter, that is what we are going to see over the next couple of weeks. So still a lot of information and data to come out. Very bullish on the Tesla side of things, but not so much on the macro side of things that could be very uncertain. Now, Gary Black over on Twitter had mentioned how I believe the CEO deposition for Elon when it comes to the Twitter deal is going to be happening on September 30th as well. A lot of times CEOs don't like to do that because they have to go out there and talk and say some things that may not be true or come up with truths that, kind of make the company and could be bad news for the company, and they don't want to do that. So we may see a deal getting hashed out before the end of the month and quarter as well. If that happens and they end up hashing out a deal and it comes down to be lower than $54.20 per share, we could see a massive boost in Tesla stock as well. And I know I keep mentioning that we have the gaps that go down to 247 and 258. Those are still on the table. They don't have to fill, but I just want to make sure that they are in the back of my mind to remind myself that those do exist. And now I know some of you are newer to the channel and you've been asking about what gaps are, and I keep forgetting how quickly this channel is growing, that some people are newer to the channel. So what gaps are when there's a gap in the stock price. So let's say we close at, previously it was 247 we closed at, we opened up at like 252 the next day. We never came back to fill that gap between 247 and 252. So the stock just ran up from there, never came back. That gap is what we are talking about right there. So, algorithms and a lot of other reasons and market makers want to come back and fill those gaps. And it can happen over the course of months. It could happen the next day. So that's why I always keep them in the back of my head. And they usually do fill 9 out of 10 times. This weekend I will try to be doing a live stream. I will not be doing one tomorrow just due to the fact that my son has a soccer game. Priorities there. So over the weekend I'll try to do a live stream, and if you guys can hop on, I'll run through it over there and show you guys with a share screen and all the charts. So if we get past it and we end up screaming higher at the end of the quarter and keep on flying, I'm good with that. I want to be bullish. I want to ride the sky high. That's why I increased my dollar cost averaging recently. I increased it from $20 to $25 every single day because I don't know what's going to happen, and I was starting to get a little cash heavier. So I'm like, you know what? Let me start putting some more money into Tesla, because if we don't end up pulling back, I still have more invested in as we run up. And now I do still have a good chunk of cash on the sidelines just in case we do end up pulling back to those levels. Again, the level that I'm looking below us right now, if we do fall below 300, looking at that 289 to 290 level, there is a partial gap to fill down there that has become a nice support for us. So if we do end up breaking below that, I'm going to see 287. If we fall below 287, then 278 is the next level to go below that. And then we're just tracking it from there. So again, that's just the downside risk that we have. On the upside, we are looking at the 312 to 315 level. If we get to that, that is our resistance that we are at. That was that 940 to 945 level that we were at prior to the split. If we are going to break that, we are going to need some big volume to come through. Volume today was around 64 million shares trading hands, still a little bit below average. We would need something around that 90 to 100 million share range to be able to bust through that most likely on the resistance level. We'll see how that goes. Obviously getting production numbers for Q3 could be that catalyst that drives that volume higher and pushes us through it, and has happened in the past. So lots of things to pay attention to. Just wanted to give you guys this information for the upside and the downside. And again, to be transparent, I'm still dollar cost averaging every day because I don't know. I don't truly know what's going to happen in the future. But with the downside, I'm preparing for the worst in case we do fall down that way. I've got cash to add in heavier. And this is the strategy I have adopted as the year has gone on. This is my be less wrong type strategy. And so far it has worked out very well for me over the course of the year. It's not financial advice. You guys got to do your own due diligence and do what's right for your own portfolios. But that's what I'm doing, and it has worked well for me. And now in some little bit different news that was coming out today that I had heard today was Amazon is closing or canceling plans for 44 warehouses around the country. Now here in Connecticut with my job, we have helped Amazon supply 3 different warehouses being built over the last couple of years, but they're actually closing one down in our Branford area. It's a warehouse that's been up for a while, so it's not a newer one that they had just built, but there's a lot of them that are getting closed, and I guess there's 5 more near the Massachusetts area that are also getting closed. So I don't know how this is going to play out when it comes to the macro. Amazon did, spend a lot of money over the last couple of years. A lot of companies did. When you've got near zero interest rates and you're basically borrowing free money, it makes a lot of sense to go out and do this. So why Amazon is closing all of these, I don't have all of those details, but it could be something that maybe they're thinking, hey, we are going to some tougher economic times in the future. Maybe we don't know what's going to go on. Maybe the recession is going to get worse. So this could be something that Amazon is just doing to protect themselves. Truly don't know, but it could be just a little sign that we could be in for some rougher times ahead. And now, of course, this is just one company that is making some decisions, so, trying to base your entire investment portfolio and strategy off of this information, probably not the wisest thing, but this is just one of those little things that I take that sign and say, all right, I'm going to put that in the back of my head, file it away as a little piece of information. If we get a few more things like that, then I can say, all right, I'm really going to start paying attention to this now. And so all in all, again, another great outperformance day today for Tesla. Very excited about that. We're looking like we're starting to consolidate. So I'm just paying attention, day-to-day charts. We haven't found a new trading pattern yet. So really just kind of focusing on as to where we are going to go over the next 2 weeks. And then from there, we'll probably have a pattern of some sort formed, and then we can follow it from there. Again, as I had said, this weekend, I'm going to be working out the technical details from my whole studio here. So I should be able to share with you guys a lot of the share screens. I'll share all the charts on here with you guys. Should have that resolved this weekend. So I'll be able to give you guys even better content in the future. So thank you for your patience with that. And just as a reminder, we do have the membership program up and running. That is going to be down in the pinned comment below if you want to sign up down there. And I'd like to welcome the 2 newest members to the community, the Gormless Twit and Luke Price. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome to have you here. And what I'm going to be doing for everybody, every single level that you are going to be at as a member, is I'll do some, special training, some chart stuff to go over it, chart analysis for you guys to follow. And I'll do some special videos for you guys down there as well. I'll try to do them once a week, maybe like on the weekend. I'll be able to get some time to do a quick video for you guys. If there's anything in particular you guys as members want to see, let me know down there and I will be able to share with you guys what you're looking for, because that's what it's all about. It's all about you guys as members over there. Otherwise, here on the channel, I'm still going to be doing all of the stuff for you guys as well, as much as I can, because I want to give all you guys the education as well. But with members, I can dial it in to really be specific to what you guys are specifically looking for. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you think we are going to trade in the last 2 weeks of the month? What kind of movements do you think we're going to see in the stock? Do you think we're going to consolidate? Do you think we're going to break through that 312 level? Do you think we're going to break down below that 290 level? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. We do have that membership program that is down in the pinned comment below. We do have a Discord chat. That link is also in the description. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon. That link is down in the description. And over there, I do share all of my valuation models, my price targets, and all of my production and delivery forecasts. Thank you so much. Have a great one.